All right, what's up, guys? Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at my final-ish matches of the current season to kind of get a sense of how I'm playing and how it's going and what all's going on. We like to do this at the end of every season. We're hoping for a C3 finish. The ranks are climbing quite a bit, and there's not a lot of players playing this season compared to last season, so it makes it more difficult. You have to get past more people to get the same rank. And C3 is giant this season. Like, to get in, it's like mid 1800s, and it extends into the 2000s, which that's a lot of points to climb if you want to break into G1. And it's hard for the G1s, I think, because there's a large player base that's in C3 that can eat your points much easier than you can eat there. So your win rate has to be high because every C3 loss, you got to win like 2 to make it up just to break even. So it's a tough season. Hopefully there'll be more players next season and give us a little more variety. A little bit of shakeup wouldn't hurt either in just the way things are determined. But let's take a look at my matches and we'll get to it. What I like about pre-recording is I can speed it up, I can pause it, I can talk about things as we go. So that's why I like to pre-record the replays. Alright, so here's what we've got. They picked Okeanos. I haven't really found something I like against Okeanos, and he made a really nice pivot. I tried to take turn 1 with the Moor Yanhong, and him seeing that grabbed the Leo, which is really, really good against both those units. The Leo messes with additional damage artifacts. Yanhong's damage is based off of speed, so that was a really nice pick on his part. And then the Lulu, also really, really nice, because he's solidified turn 2, which, to me, Okeanos generally signifies a turn 1, and he might be a turn 1, but he had the nice flexibility to switch into it, so I really like that draft. I picked the Verd and Juno into his 3 win units, which feels like a good choice to me. Banned the Lulu, which I think was his main source of sustain. Maybe not the best ban in retrospect, because what is the Lulu really protecting against? Like, I don't have any control that can be cleansed. I don't really have any CC, so maybe banning a damage dealer. He's got 2 really nice defense-breaking win units. Maybe that would be a better choice. Or just banning the Leo and trying to play the speed game. So let's speed it up a little bit here. So get the strip, get the full strip. Well, I get the first strip and then I got the full AoE strip. Looking at that Fenyang's damage against fire is a problem. 2k, 2k with defense break. That's going to be a big problem. Oh, I missed his damage there, but it was pretty good as well. He's going all in on the Juno, which I think is smart. The Juno can't be controlled. The Juno is the biggest fire threat to his win units, and they're just wrecking me. So this is one of those ones where I think in the pick I messed up. He was smart enough to know that a Moor can be neutralized if you pick the right win units. Like, the Moor can sit there and do nothing. Like, it's really not easy, but it's a very counterable unit, especially if I don't follow it up with anything that matters after the strip. So that was probably a mistake on my part to not pick enough impactful damage or control following the Moor. So that was really well played on his part. So I start off 0-1. And, the reason I'm playing here is I'm trying to climb back into C3. So I don't need to be safe C3. I like to kind of just play when I fall, because then I get more points if I fall out. And, I don't know, it's just more fun. Something's on the line versus going into the safe zone. I don't know. Just kind of my habit. I'd probably finish higher if I did not do that. But all right, so looking at the draft, Vanessa pick 1 is an interesting choice. I don't feel like it really signals anything other than you're not looking at a cookie cutter AoE control meta, and you're probably not looking at a cleave. So I played kind of middle of the road, picked up the Lulu, which is strong in all circumstances. Vanessa, I feel like, signifies maybe a bit of a longer match, because Vanessa needs to stick around to do anything. And then the Yanhong is really, really good. He went with the Vanessa Triana Molong, which is a really nice little combo, and his healing there in, I think, Aerial, kind of interesting. You don't see it too often. Picking up the Antares was really nice. We kind of messed with each other. I banned his Antares. He banned the Diana, maybe thinking I would ban the Antares. And here we go. So this feels pretty good to me. He's got healing. I've got healing. The proc gets my Sierra killed. That's rough. He had a really nice opening with the proc from the Vanessa. Had he not proc'd, I think I would have been okay. But being down a unit early like that is bad news. But we'll see. I mean, these 3 units can definitely get it done. We slowly get down the Vanessa. My thought is, if I can start chipping into the Molong, I can make it not as big of a threat, but he's got crazy healing, so I kind of just need to out-survive the Molong so that his HP goes down. And he obviously wants the Han. See, there's the big old heal. He's got lots of big heals. So then I just haunt him down in one turn with the defense break coming early and then the skill 2, and then that's pretty much it. So why did this go this way? I think I just had better units. I think Triana, Vanessa, Ariel are not as good as Han, Yanhong, Lulu. I mean, that's just how it goes. They're higher win rate units for a reason. They're more versatile in all situations. All right, so we're getting cleaved here. I'm still trying to find the best reaction to a Sierra first pick, because in general, they signal turn 1, but they can pivot really, really easy. So Sierra's a really nice first pick for those reasons. So I'm still playing around. I have found that Han Yanhong is not great as a follow-up, because whoever the opponent is, if you pick Han Yanhong into the Sierra, they still have their entire box open, and they can do what they want more. You're not stealing anything from their box, and it seems to be that if they get their first 3 picks in this situation, I'm in trouble. So I need to pick something that's relevant to the meta, but might still have some sort of impact against them. So a Lulu's not bad, but a Lulu puts you on the back foot for cleave. I wouldn't want a Lulu in this match, and I have one. Probably something like an Okeanos that can threaten a little bit of turn 1, a little bit of reset would be a pretty good pick. So that's probably where I could go. A Speedly with some threat isn't bad either, but I think a Moore is not great into Sierra, so I probably wouldn't want to do that. But it's a tricky spot for me. This is an interesting cleave too. I kind of like it a lot because it really threatens speed more than the cleaves with Bastet and Draco. They're just not fast enough, but the Escher and the Dark Chasun really threaten speed quite a bit. So you can see already he gets that turn 1 kill off my Han. And my Yanhong's not slow. I mean, I don't have a speed lead, but my Yanhong is not slow, and it's just a little bit behind in this match. And we missed the kill there, which is unfortunate. It makes me take more damage than I would have liked, and I think my target selection was also incorrect. The Shimate is a problem, but the Sierra is the killer. The Sierra is going to take a million turns. The Sierra can kill everything with a ignored defense. So that was a loss. I think in that draft, I got behind, and then I kept drafting myself further behind. I kept drafting things like Lulu, like, oh, Lulu's good, and Lulu is good, but against that team where they're going to snipe out a unit every rotation or 2, Lulu doesn't sneak in enough to get things done. Lulu's good when they can't snipe things out before Lulu moves again. If they can snipe in between Lulu plays, Lulu's useless, and I should have been able to see that off of their draft, and I just didn't. It just happens. Can't be perfect. I mean, some people can, but not me. So I'm trying something else against the Sierra. Okay, so what's my thought here? I see the Sierra. I'm trying something else. I'm going to try to get the Lulu out first, because in theory they want it if they're going to play Bruiser. And it gives me 2 healers, which I don't need any more healers. It delays my selection of DPS until he shows a few more of his cards. Once I know more what he's doing, my DPS can be more tailor-made to the type of threat he brings, is my thought. So then he went with Fran and Oki. So he realizes it's a game that's going to require some healing on his part, so he picks up the Fran, which I think is smart. Fran also synergizes very nicely with Sierra and, eventually with the Barbara that he brings later. So after seeing those 3, I pick Han, because I pick Han every match. Han is a better version of Diana, in my opinion, and it's AoE neutral. It has really good base stats. Like, Han's excellent. So I pick Han every match, because Han's always a threat. And Han lets me play Yanhong. If I didn't have Han, I wouldn't get to play Yanhong very much, because they would ban Yanhong a lot. So I get to play with Yanhong quite a bit, which is really, really nice. Okay, and then I go Juno, because Juno is strong against the control of Sierra and the control of Okeanos. It's good against the buffs of Fran, so I feel like that's a pretty good play. Also, my Juno is really well rune and artifact, and I should play her more. She's on one of my best rune sets, and she's pretty effective. Interestingly, he picks Diana into the Juno, which is kind of odd, and then Barbara, which I think is a pretty good pick. To me, the Diana pick signals he probably doesn't want to play Juno, or maybe he thinks he can get through it. But then I make him double down and commit to the Diana by picking Antares. So that Diana is in an awkward spot. Knowing that, I ban the Barbara, he bans the Han, which means I get 2 fire against 2 wind. The Juno, I get the double healing, I get the Antares. The only thing I'm missing is a defense break, but he doesn't have one either. He has an ignored defense, so I feel okay about it. Misses the reset, which is unfortunate, and the Juno already gets to work. I mean, you can see she's putting out pretty good damage. I do that skill just to kind of start weakening multiple targets. He's already done his AoE heal, so that multiple damage on the entire team gives me options should they arise. Lets things open up a little bit for me in terms of target selection. Get the nice AoE strip into the dots. We boost up. That was borderline misplay. In my mind, I was like, oh, I'll just strip this shield. I don't have the strip again. That was a mistake. But Juno taking a turn there isn't the end of the world. Maybe Antares would have been a little more impactful, just because it would be more damage, but it's okay, I guess. Juno gets bombed, which is a big heal for Juno. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not enough to snipe, so it doesn't matter. Like, I don't even have to heal with Lulu there. Juno can take care of herself. He does get the reset there, which is nice for him. I'm still all in on this Diana, hoping to get in there before he gets a big heal. Now he bombs the Antares, which I think is a much better choice. It's going to stick, right? Unless I get a Lulu proc, which I guess is possible. But I think killing the Antares is... When you have a Diana, you got to focus the Antares, in my mind. Because that unlocks your Diana, and that's your win condition. All right, now we're on Sierra, and I think we're so far ahead that there's not much that can be done. And we do win. All right. So I played 2 matches in a row against this guy, and we split. So spoilers, this is the one I lose. And let's talk about why. So I'm trying to make the Molong Icarus work. And I like my Diana pick there against the Ganny Lulu Sierra. I like that a lot. And then he doubled down and double fire, which I think is smart. But I'm so element neutral with the Molong that I feel okay. Let me see what I banned here. I think I banned the Oki. I think the Antares would have been a better ban because the Diana would be a threat that I could use every turn against everything else, you know, except the Okeanos. Do I really care about the reset? I kind of do. It messes with the Icarus, and I don't know if the Ganny Oki is something I really want him to have access to when I have no immunity. So maybe it was the correct ban. I think in the moment I was like, I can't let him have that. His Ganny being on Swift, I think, is such a problem because my Yanhong is as fast as I can make her not on will, and so that locks down a ton of my potential. And then missing the full kill on the Antares is very bad against a Lulu. We do manage to snipe him out, so I'm feeling okay here. Gets the bomb. Diana's in big trouble. Should not have gone for it. I think that was a bad Diana play. Yeah, that was just a mistake on my part on the Diana. I got a little greedy. Sometimes I do just to test it because, I don't know, you're playing, you're having fun. Why not? All right, so here's number 2. We take Lulu first because I'm like, look, I can take Lulu. He picks the combo I had last time, which is fun. The Molong Icarus. So he's like, I have access to everything you have access to, except, you know, the LD5s. But that's always fun to do. So I ban the Praha because I feel like that's his strip, right? His main strip. It's his main form of sustain. Yeah, his main form of sustain. And it cycles really well against my double fire. I brought the Dappness in just to try to give him a little threat of snipe as well. In his position, I'm not sure. To me, I would think the Han might be a bigger threat than the Dappness because the Dappness is so conditional and easier to kill. The Han's usually built pretty tanky and can snipe stuff out. So if I was in his shoes, that would probably be the one thing I would change. Also, I didn't want him to have access to the reset Praha just to continually sleep and strip and all that stuff. I'm not a fan of him having access to the reset Icarus, but the reset Molong doesn't matter because Molong will eat its own health. So I reset his Ganny in this case, which is excellent. Finish off the Icarus, and now I feel pretty good because the Icarus was the main thing that the Ganny could reset to give him consistent damage. Like, Oki's going to get a hit, but it's only one hit. Like, he's not going to get more than one giant hit. He's all in on the Han. There's his big hit. And now I just got to start getting rid of units. Get rid of that one. Heal up. Feeling pretty good here. I've still got a damage dealer in Yanhong and kind of in Oki as well. He's making pretty good progress on the Oki, but, I mean, I've got Lulu, Yanhong. Like, we're fine. So we trade wins there, which is always kind of fun. Should not have lost the first one. Well, maybe I should have lost, but I should have played it better in the loss had I lost. All right, let's take a look at this one. So I went with the Molong Icarus again. The Yanhong Han in the middle is just super scary. And then the Diana started well, but got quite a bit worse when he went double fire. I kind of like the Molong Diana into the Lulu, though. I don't really have a problem with that. And then the Rigel's a little bit scary. Anytime someone plays a Rigel, it worries me because that signals a commitment to RTA that not a lot of people have. Like, that's a unit that has a use, but to have it built and to have it ruined and have it skilled means you know a lot about counter picks and what's going on. You know, it's one of those units that not just everybody has. It's a niche pick that has a specific use and it can be kind of scary. So I was like, ooh, I don't know about that, but we'll see. I ban out the massive control, the pushback, the dots, all that stuff. All I'm dealing with now is an Antares I got to kill, a Rigel that's going to be a problem, but not a ton of damage, just a ton of healing. So I have my snipers up. I just got to get them sniping. So we want that Triana, right? Anything else is harder to kill, so let's see if we can kill the Triana. We skill 3 into the Triana because we missed the strip, which is not great. If we had gotten the strip, it would be much easier kill. But we get enough done to get it killed. So that's the plan. We get it killed, we move on. Rigel's doing excellent work, but we heal up. We move on to the Antares. Antares is such a great target. Because if you don't kill him, he just does insane things forever. Nice. Proc for him. Gets the kill on the Han. Still feel pretty good. I'm saving my Diana. I switched to the Rigel a little bit, which I think is probably a mistake. I think the Antares is still a better choice. Oh, almost get it killed. It's just so sad. Just pushing all in. And we get it down, and he knows it's over. So. All right. I think, let's see here. So I go with the Lulu first pick, and I'll dive in another video into my first pick choices and what works best for me, but there's a reason you need to pick certain things based on your box and how flexible they are and what they let you do. Like, if you first pick Bastet, you better have a plan when they start countering you, because I feel like some people first pick Bastet and then they get countered with the obvious Bastet cleave counters, and they're like, this game is ridiculous, I don't know what to do. But first pick Bastet tells so much. First pick Lulu tells a lot too, but it's something that people are like, okay, I can play Bruiser, and they'll play with you. You'll actually steer the draft in the direction you want. Not a lot of cleavers will try to cleave into first pick Lulu. They're not like, Lulu, no problem, I'll cleave it. Some do, and they have excellent cleaves. But in general, I've found that first pick Lulu tends to put people into a Bruiser match. And if that's what you want to play, you're good. That's what you want. Like, if I first pick more, I'm going to more often play a speed match, and that's really not what my box is good at. I'm okay fast, but I'm not, like, super fast. I can't win those speed matches regularly. So if I can signal them into my game, that's what I want. That's why I first pick Lulu. All right, they banned the Lulu, which is insane, considering the other units on the field. Like, I've got the Chow into the 2 fire units. Chow is excellent at everything except the monkey. The Diana is not going to do much, but it's good against those 2 units if I can get rid of the Antares. And then Yan Han Han is really, really good together. So just shows you how much Leo does. Or Chow does. No, none of those. Lulu. How much Lulu does. All right, so I just completely wreck the Antares turn 1, and then we know we're good because we're completely unlocked on Diana. We're going to negate the Molong, bring him too low to do anything, and he knows it's over. It's over real quick. All right, so here's where I'm at for the season. This was a couple days ago, and I think I've got a couple matches since then, which maybe I'll show real quick. But the win rate is the highest it's ever been on this account, so I'm pretty happy with my builds, my tactics, kind of what my plan is. 57 is high. I don't know. I mean, it's not, like Topa V high or whatever in the high 60s, low 70s. But this is high for me. This is definitely high for this account. The highest I ever finished was last season at 52, and I played a bajillion games. This season, a little less. I just didn't get around to it. I would play some and then not. But, I'm pretty happy with how we're doing so far. So let's take a look at, I believe, the runes. So here's the Lulu. The resistance to me is important, 57%, because with the Yanhong, Lulu gets to 100, which Lulu on 100 resist is nice. This is a little bit cheating because I don't put her at max. Her, him, it, those, they, the 3 Lulus. Lulu and friends. I don't put them at max, so it's a little bit cheating on stats because resistance is like but I end up using that Yanhong resist lead quite a bit, so I want Lulu on max resist. So you can see the HP, the defense, speed's pretty good. On Will. Here's the Chow. The Chow is not in its finished form. The Chow's kind of a little bit slapped together. I think the crit damage is too high. I would love those stats to go more into defense, attack, and HP that scale a little bit better, but when I pick Chow, it works pretty well. So it's not bad. Usually Chow gets picked into matches where he has a really favorable matchup, and so the build being not great isn't as important. But on Will again, on Violent. Molong, the accuracy is really high. It just kind of happens. I don't know. Those kind of runes that I give to Molong tend to have a lot of accuracy. Not the best Molong ever, but not bad. 146? On Despair Will. It's only on Despair because I don't have the Violent runes to spare. And Despair is fine. It works okay. It's not quite as good as Violent. It's not the same thing as like a Swift Snipe Molong, which might be something I'll do next season. That'd be kind of interesting. The double, kind of like Barian style, the Molong Icarus, both on Swift. So maybe next season that could be interesting. All right, here's the more. Probably my best Swift set. The accuracy with the artifacts is 85, 313. Not bad. So broken. He has 1 Will rune, which is kind of a bummer. Pisama, in my mind, I just want to build it as hard hitting as possible. he has a really good win rate for me, and I probably should pick him more, but it's when I tend to get into speed battles, which lately I've been trying to avoid those. So, but he hits really, really hard, so I like him quite a bit. He's on Despair Nem. There's the Vanessa. I don't know that I've picked Vanessa like at all, but it's built just in case. It's on Broken Will. Verd, my philosophy on Verd is some speed, like 170, but then the rest is all tank. I just want him to live because Verd is a target, and I still like mine in Triple Revenge, especially with Jogun not being a thing as much. I think Triple Revenge is the way to go. I've seen some ridiculous Triple Revenge Verds. Mine's not that. Mine's just tanky, and he works fine. I like him a lot. All right, Oki, 269 speed. I don't really use him very much. 90% accuracy. He's on Broken, like 2 pieces of Despair. I should use him more, but I don't. I just didn't have the runes for him, and he doesn't really fit in. All right, Antares, very similar to Verd. I just want him to be a stat grabber. Give him all the stats. 70% crit, so when he procs, he has 100% crit. Speed's not as important. Mine's a procking Antares, not a I take lots of turns Antares, and just lots of stats. Juno is one I'm pretty proud of. So 271 on Despair, crit rate slot 4. Ooh, wow, we went through that fast. On Despair accuracy, which kind of helps the whole team, I just happen to have 2 accuracy runes that were like within the top 3 of rune choices for those slots, and I wasn't going to get an offset in, so might as well take accuracy. It helps her, it helps everybody else, so works okay. But I love the speed because she'll go before my Han, which I don't think people suspect. So I can boost into Juno Strip, into Han on a now non-will target, and in theory, that puts me into a 3v4 when I pick Juno. All right, Kaki I built based on advice from Daniel Carioca. Like, this is kind of the build he recommended, and I just don't pick him a lot. I think I need him more in an AoE situation, or I just don't trust him. I don't know. The HP is low enough that I just don't trust him as much as I should. All right, the Dappness, not crit damage, which is maybe a mistake. I've got a pretty good crit damage artifact on him. But he's fast, he's 100% crit, so there's no, oh, my Dappness didn't crit. Like, I want him to crit all the time, so he's 100% crit. Lots of accuracy. I've got, his artifact is a 15 accuracy on 3 and a 15 crit damage on 3, which is kind of neat. So he's about as good as I can build him, I think. Got the attack. He can still kill stuff. Doesn't have the crit damage, but he can still kill stuff. All right, let's see here. He's on Swift. Triana is literally on junk runes. Sierra, every time Sierra dies to something Sierra shouldn't die to, I give her more effective HP. So that's the effect of this. Slowly getting more effective HP. I still run her on crit rate. So if she's going to die from having crit rate on 4, oh well. Like, she's going to have crit rate on 4. I need those turns. I need those bombs. So she's at 86% crit, accuracy 59. She's got some accuracy on her artifact. And then the HP and the defense you can see there. Ganny, I don't really use. Ganny's ready to go. Should I want to do more Ganny back-to-back, but I don't tend to pick that way. I could. That's a kind of a different draft. I think with the Han Yanhong Diana type thing, Lulu, like, I want everything to be bruisery. I want everything to be fast. Like, we turn cycle like crazy. And Ganny, I don't know. I just haven't really figured him out in there, so didn't get picked a lot. Like, my support slots are kind of taken, I guess. Like, Lulu, Yanhong, those are my supports, right? So everything else needs to be damage. Otherwise, things happen where they ban Han, and then suddenly it's all supports being like, we'll just heal each other back and forth, you know? Interestingly enough, he's got an enhanced set. Just had a really nice enhanced set, so I gave it to him, which is kind of fun. All right, Diana, on a crit rate 4, not a crit damage 4. I would love to get her on crit damage, but it's not happening anytime soon to get the other stats. So you can see the HP. Good attack, I think, for Diana, and pretty good defense as well. Violent Will. Here's the Leo. It's all stats. I think it's broken. Yeah, broken. Just Nem Blade. Just lots of stats. Savannah, I don't really use, which is so sad. I was so excited to pull Savannah, and just doesn't quite fit. She's a little too squishy, and I don't know. I haven't made her work, so maybe next season. The Escher is built for speed races, and I really like the Escher. I just haven't picked him a lot lately. Maybe I should. But he's ready to go if I need to, you know, get a necessary outspeed. Works really nice for the boosting with, he'll boost into Yanhong, into the strip, into Han if they all get to stay. Usually they all don't. All right, here's the Yanhong. There's one rune that made this build possible, and there's no quad rolls on this build. So she's at 291, I believe. 292. If I can get a quad roll, or I can get a triple roll blade, something, a high triple roll blade, this build can really unlock. But I like her HP, I like her defense, I like her crit rate, crit damage. The attack is like, eh. I like her on Violent because of the way I play. Like, stealing turn 1 with her is a absolutely viable strategy. I think that tends to lend toward more AoE control, and that's not what I'm playing right now. I'm playing Yanhong takes a turn, and then Yanhong takes another turn, and then I win. So that's why she's built as she is. Her accuracy is sort of sad. I would like that to be higher, but she's at the point now where very specific rolls on her runes are the only way she'll upgrade. She's at the bleeding edge of my Violent rune set, so that's where she's at. The Iliana I played with quite a bit, and with the way I pick, I don't feel like I quite got enough out of her. I like her sometimes, but I ended up playing like Protect the Captain games with her. I'd play her and Yanhong and Han, and then something like a Diana, and then they would ban one of the DPS, and then the supports would all try to keep that one thing alive. If it was a Han, it worked really well. If it was pretty much anything else, it didn't. And, you know, like Diana doesn't really work because they'll counterpick. The Cocky didn't really work. So I'm not sure. I don't know. There's potential there for her, but I just haven't quite come across it. Maybe it's Molong support. I don't know. But I feel like she's borderline viable. I just haven't quite figured it out. So I would like to make her work. She's in really nice LD4. All right, Han, my pride and joy. He's actually gotten a little better since then. But he's just a stat monster. You just give him all the stats. Not a lot of crit damage. Obviously, give him a 100% crit rate. He's 252. HP's 34k. Attack 1800-ish. You can see the defense are 1000, something like that. Actually, he's a little low, but he's on Swift Will. I've got a Swift Nem build for him as well that hits a little harder and has a little bit less effective HP. That in theory might be good because he's always the target. Always the target. But I feel like the Will makes it so that Sierras don't just destroy him right away, or Gannies or something like that. So I'm sticking with the Will for now, I think. All right, Icarus, 233 speed, as much HP as I can get. If Icarus's base HP was better, Icarus would be a monster. The fact that Icarus is an attack type unit is a tragedy, but Icarus is pretty good anyway, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. So on Broken, Energy, Will, you know, she does her skill 3, and if it works, you win, and if not, you know, you gotta wait a long time. So that's Icarus. Varisa, I like quite a bit. I think she's max accuracy with artifacts, or pretty close. So she's 307 speed, but with the Han, she's really got an extra 6 speed, like shadow speed, because if I pick Varisa, it's going to be with Han, and if I get the Han lead, then instead of 307, she's really 313, which is as good as my Moore. Just her goal is to go first and to make her skills land. That's her goal. Because if you do fight Cleave and you get a Varisa in there, it can really, really destroy the Cleave. Like if you full attack break, full glance, they don't like that. It messes them up real bad. So that's why she's there. She plays pretty well when I pick her correctly. When I mess up, it's not her fault, it's my fault. So those are my runes. I believe that is everything. So I've since played, I think, 2 or 3 more matches to keep holding my C3, and it's going fine. Like, I'm still C3. I could still fall out at the last minute, but I feel like if I do fall out, my win rate at the top of C2 should be enough to push me back into C3. It's just a matter of if I get really unlucky at any one point and lose like 5 in a row for some reason, then it's a mountain that's too high to climb. But we'll see. Yeah, no G1, just not enough matches. But getting better. It's getting better, right? So I've been really enjoying playing this season. It's a little bit of a different play style than a lot of people play. So I get in some matches where they think they're getting something and they get something else, which is kind of fun for me. So anyway, that's all the runes, all the things, some matches. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, what you think in the comments. If there's anything you were like, why didn't he show this thing? And then I can, try to justify why I didn't show whatever thing that I should have shown. But anyway, good luck to everybody on the finish of the season. I'm looking forward to Special League because I can ban like 1 unit all the time. I'm thinking the Carnal, because I don't have it. So I'm thinking pure Carnal ban all the time might be fun. Maybe Antares, though. That wouldn't be bad. So anyway, good luck to you guys. Finish is coming soon. Catch y'all in the next video. Bye, everybody.